Salma Hayek, Kelsey Grammer, Tamsin Gregg and Rod Gilbert with Graham Norton in 45 minutes, or if you're watching in the north, the Super League show. But first, Ian's after the sympathy vote.
Can I just apologise? I'm losing my voice.
Okay.
I'm going to sound very old. I apologise. I brought some liquid cocaine.
Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News for You? I'm Martin Clunes. In the news this week, to the delight of fans, the star of The Revenant takes a stroll around the grounds of his recently purchased Beverly Hills mansion. On his way to launch a campaign encouraging people to holiday at home this summer, England's head of tourism phones to say he might be slightly late. And in the final of Robot MasterChef, the title's in the bag for the ZX-1E, unless he makes a mistake with the boiled egg. On Ian's team tonight is a Salford-born comedian whose first job was collecting glasses in a pub. But things changed when he started doing stand-up there, as the audience would helpfully throw them at him. Please welcome Jason Manford. And with Paul tonight is the Labour MP for Birmingham, Yardley, who says you have to be a remarkable and amazing woman to be offered a job where you're in charge. Average men get there all the time. Thanks, love. Welcome, please, Jess Phillips, MP. And we start with the bigger stories of the week. Ian and Jason, take a look at this.
Oh, yeah, this is when Grindr went wrong.
Is that it again?
Oh, right, he's back allowed in, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't see where that one went. And that's the general public. This is the latest instalment.
Yeah, the referendum on the 23rd of June that everyone's, like, really knowledgeable about and knows what's going on. And they've left it up to us, which...
Is that an error?
I don't even know how to work Series Link. So... I'm worried that there's a lot of people like me who've been left with this decision to make. Like, that's why we have government and that.
What, you expect them to make the decisions for you?
I would like them to make... Yeah, of course, I've got one decision, and that is who I'd like to be in charge making decisions.
Yep.
So...
Jess can help you out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm voting to remain in the European Union.
What's the reason? I mean, I've read some of the things. I did one of them quizzes online. I thought it was like...
I don't want to know
Nothing
about
like
your
a
personal
how you should vote, and there was like an online quiz,
yeah.
you know, to see which way you think you should be by answering certain questions. And there was loads of things I didn't know, like if we leave the EU, energy bills could go up by 500 million. Now, I can't afford that.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons for voting in, mainly because of the people who are on the outside. So do you want to be on the same side as Nigel Farage, George Galloway...
Jeremy Corbyn.
Just about.
I genuinely don't know about the money thing, because I keep seeing them say this £350 million a week. That's all I'm seeing. Is that how much it costs to be in the
No,
EU?
because that doesn't include the rebate or what they spend.
lie.
What's confusing
Nearly all the figures you see are rubbish.
So you're telling me that some of the stuff these politicians are saying might be untrue?
In this debate, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's all.
I asked my dad, actually, I said, what are you thinking? He went, well, I guess Remain, I think. I think I'll go Remain, because what I don't want is when you go on holiday, that queue for the non-EU passport is always massive.
Yeah.
Well, that's the most British way of deciding, queuing.
Opinion pollsters have clearly detected the nation's almost catatonic with boredom, so that they've been trying to liven things up. Anyone know how they've been doing that?
Well, they've tried to get young people in by calling the referendum Votey McVoteface.
They've been ringing people up and asking them how they think fictional characters would vote in the referendum. Oh, yes.
Wow.
You know any of the people that they...
Sherlock Holmes must be in there.
Yes, and what do you think they said that he would say?
Oh, he'd be in favour of staying in Europe. Sherlock Holmes.
Reluctantly out, apparently.
Reluctantly?
Well,
Is he reluctant because he really doesn't have a vote because he's a fictional character?
And how about Mary Poppins?
She loves to travel.
She's a floating voter. According to The Times, despite the threat posed by the free movement of Eastern European nannies, voters consider that she would advocate staying in. Captain Mannering, in or out?
In.
Out.
Oh.
It's unclear how the rest of Dad's army would vote, as when the pollster asked Captain Mannering, he said, "Don't tell him, Pike." Basil Fawlty.
Oh, definitely out.
Very much out, you're right. And I'll open
What do you mean
this
I'm
one.
right?
You're right. You concur with the voting public?
I concur with the voting public. OK, go on then.
sorry, go on.
No, you're on.
I was wondering if Boris counted as a fictional character.
Yes! If only.
Yeah.
This voice of yours, Ian, I really like it. It's good. Do you take requests? Are there certain sentences you'll say in this voice?
Anything you like.
Have you ever been to Cairo, my dear?
Have you ever been to Cairo, my dear?
It's lovely.
Can you say, that's not just any hummus, it's Marks and Spencer's hummus?
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Of course.
I'll do it in the voice of Jeremy Corbyn. That's not just any hummus, that's...
Very good. They, at Wetherspoons, the chain of pubs, they've started printing beer mats that say that sort of pro exit.
What did they say? Leave?
Yeah. I just thought it was great. I thought, if you're sat in a Wetherspoons reading the beer mat, you shouldn't be allowed to make choices.
And who have the Remainers brought out to inject a bit of vigour and pizzazz into their knackered campaign?
Well, Ryanair have said that we should stay in, which I don't know anybody who likes Ryanair. Which,
Yeah, we all use it.
Who else are you going to get, like, the roadworks on the M6?
I was actually thinking of Kenneth Clarke.
Oh, yeah, he came out and he said that Boris was like a nice Trump.
That means something else in the north, I think. He said, Boris and Donald Trump should go away for a bit and enjoy themselves and not get in the way of serious issues which modern countries face in the 21st century. No, Boris probably wouldn't go away with Trump. But he has been up to something with Michael Gove recently.
They had a go at the Prime Minister. This polite bit of the referendum debate is over. They're just going straight for it now.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Blue on Blue. It's a website. And they do say, they do in that voice, there's going to be a coup. You heard it here first.
Just about.
Yeah.
One anonymous Tory rebel said quite a nasty thing
Not
in the
much of a
Sunday
rebel, is
Times.
he?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Don't say it was me!
Well, you wouldn't want to, no, this is what he said. I don't want to stab the Prime Minister in the back. I want to stab him in the front so I can see the expression of his face.
They've said that win, lose or draw, they're going to try and get rid of him anyway.
Well, it's not that easy getting rid of a useless leader, is it, Jess?
In my defence, before you say it, I didn't ever threaten to stab my leader, although the Metropolitan Police were called on me twice.
Were they? What did you
Because it
do?
seems that people online can't understand a metaphor. I actually was saying something quite nice about my leader. I was saying I won't plot behind his back, I'll tell him to his face. But, yes, obviously in a slightly more stabby way. What are you going to do? I still didn't make it onto the hostile list when they wrote it, and I've had the police called on me.
What category are you in, then?
I was just second from hostile, penultimate hostile.
Right, what's that called?
Naughty.
Core group negative.
Core
Core
group
group negative. Yeah, yeah.
Sounds like a disease.
First symptoms, hoarseness of voice.
So let's make the most of this, our final chance to talk about the EU.
Oh, God, if only it was the final chance to talk about
On
the
this,
EU.
on this programme it is. Let's see it off with a quick-fire buzzer round of E-University Challenge.
Oh, nervous.
Fingers on buzzers. Why are there 12 stars on the EU flag?
Is that how many times we've won the World Cup?
You have to press your button. Jason?
It's us. It's us.
What? Oh, sorry.
That's one of the things they test you when you go into university. Can you spot a light coming on?
I was looking over there. I didn't know there were lights.
It's nice in the winter months, though. What was the question? Because there was originally 12 member states.
No.
No.
There is no reason. There just are 12 arranged in a circle that apparently symbolises unity.
Yeah.
Or it may not. Fingers back on buzzers. Where is the highest toilet in Europe? Merton?
How do I have to go like this?
He wasn't a Merton. Merton, life.
Yeah.
Mont Blanc?
Yes!
Yay.
Yeah, very good. Which specific location in Europe sells more chocolate than anywhere else in the world? Specific location. Phillips, Merton.
Cadbury's Birmingham?
I say I'm not going Cadbury's Birmingham. I'm going Bern Airport, Switzerland.
Kind of in the right department, but the wrong country. Brussels Airport.
Switzerland isn't in the EU.
Oh, isn't it? No.
Brussels Airport sells over 800 tons of Belgian chocolate every year. One of the best known being praline. Each chocolate is crafted by hand and filled with caramelised truffle, making it the perfect gift to buy your loved ones at the airport when you couldn't be asked to buy something better earlier. In 1866, Liechtenstein sent its entire army of 80 soldiers off to the Austro-Prussian War. What was unusual about the number of soldiers that returned? Jason,
it was
Hislop?
more.
What?
It was more, I was going to say.
Yes, do you know the...
I don't know. Is that the actual answer? Yeah, because when they got there, they just started chatting to me. It's dead nice. Really nice.
Lovely uniform.
Oh, yeah, they look after you.
Yes, 80 went to war and 81 came back. They'd been forbidden to engage in any form of military combat, so none were killed. And then an Italian joined up because he was looking for work. So this is the ongoing EU debate. Donald Trump is arriving in Britain the day after the referendum to open a newly refurbished golf course in Turnberry, Ayrshire. Trump is always keen to talk about his strong Scottish roots. They're made from goat's hair and are designed to hold the rest of the wig in place. Bristol Council was accused of influencing voters after printing this handy guide on how to complete your ballot paper.
It's a bit blatant.
Seems fair to me.
They've now agreed to reprint them without the controversial Leave the European Union box. Paul and Jess, here's your boring question.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is obviously a tunnel. It's leading to the outside world. Cuckoo Clock, Switzerland. We're in the land of Switzerland.
Not in the EU.
This is definitely not in the EU. This is Angela Merkel, and he's blessing the opening of a tunnel with the traditional rosemary. This is the opening ceremony of the world's longest tunnel. Has been built under the Alps, 35 miles long, and it came in exactly on time. It was in fact, when they finished it, it was actually 20 minutes early. What they said it was going to be.
And they had a massive, brilliant opening ceremony with, like, a baby with big wings and...
Yeah, baby with big wings.
Alpine horns.
Oh, it's the baby with big wings that everybody talks about.
Is he the spirit of the Alps?
Oh, is he the ancient god Toblerone that comes down and makes everything triangular?
Sometimes when I'm driving home after a gig at like 2 o'clock in the morning, I sort of start to nod off a little bit, and then I look at the fellas doing roadworks. I've seen that.
In other engineering news, how did Sarah Guppy's pilings contribute to the building of the Clifton Suspension Bridge?
This bridge wouldn't have happened without her.
Oh, really?
She worked how to stack up stone on a riverbank so you could build a large bridge over it.
Oh.
And Brunel should have, I think, given her the credit.
Typical.
Well, she declined to take any credit for this engineering achievement, saying women must not be boastful. I leave that with you, Jess.
She was a fool, clearly,
Well,
regardless
no,
of
she
piling
wasn't.
machine
She
or
wasn't.
otherwise.
She also invented a dust-proof four-poster bed
Every woman's dream.
with a built-in exercise machine.
A four-poster bed was an exercise machine.
She invented a... So, at the end of that round, Paul and Jess have no points, and Ian and Jason have 2 points. Things are hotting up.
That's two. It says 2 and 2.
Oh! Well, that's a rotten trick. It said 0 when I looked.
You can't believe any of the figures.
I think we identified
Recount.
Martin, we'll do the scores one more time.
one more time.
OK,
Yes, you bloody will.
Yeah.
then there'll be an appeal.
Still lose.
I want a large mandate.
I beg your pardon?
Don't we all love
So, at the end of that round, 2 points each. Very exciting. So, on to round 2, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Oh, yes.
Now, this is Farage.
How is it?
They're laughing already. But this is a very tricky one because this is a Tory election fraud. And if it's proved that the Tories rigged this election, then it means that Farage gets in and becomes an MP. So you've got to weigh up, what do you want? An honest election or him?
It doesn't just go to the next man, does it? I think we have another election.
Yeah, another decision.
I have to make decisions on your behalf, like every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiring.
What are you two? What, have you got something going?
I'd never have picked that outfit.
Neither did I.
You look lovely, darling. I've only
Too late now, that's it. I'm voting Brexit. So this is just they spent too much money on trying to win.
They didn't declare. Lots of young Tory volunteers get on the bus and go down and stay the night and bully each other and whatever they do. And then in the morning they go around saying vote Tory. And you're meant to declare that locally.
Right.
And there's a suggestion they did it nationally. So it's a big accountancy story.
Oh, I see, right.
Yeah.
The battle bus, it just makes people feel important.
Right.
It does.
Hey, we're on the battle bus.
Of course, if you call it that. I might still call it the 192 to Stockport, the battle bus.
Yes, it was one of the most tightly fought battles in the country, according to the Daily Telegraph. Nigel Farage lost by less than 3,000 votes to Tory Craig McKinley. UKIP supporters were outraged by the allegations of overspending, while Telegraph readers were outraged by the use of the word less instead of fewer.
The Tories tried to appeal the decision of the judge, and they lost it today, I believe.
Oh, did they?
They were told, do
Yeah.
one. We're having more time.
And what has the Conservative Party been doing to assist with the inquiries so far?
They're hiring a QC to resist.
They've hired a laddie.
They've hired a Latin.
A laddie.
Really got interesting there, didn't it? Aladdin, that would be excellent.
James Laddie, QC.
Oh, right.
Yes, yes. This is the allegations about Tory election expenses. The alleged electoral... that's quite hard to say, actually.
Electoral.
No, the alleged
Electoral.
electoral.
Oh, the alleged
electoral.
Electoral.
Oh, if I say it properly, it's easier.
My advice is drop the alleged.
The alleged electoral abuse has been picked up by Russia Today. They've long campaigned against electoral fraud. Ever since that time, Vladimir Putin only polled a suspiciously low 107% of the vote. Fingers on your buzzers, teams.
This is the Invisible Man's been found dead. This was this a lad who, like a teenager, who in an art gallery or a museum put some glasses on the floor, and people just started randomly throughout the day just looking at it as if it was a piece of art.
And Charles Saatchi's bought it for £5 million.
It's actually a companion piece. The other one is short-sighted man wheezing fish tank. I'll buy them both together.
Yeah, they were put in the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art by 17-year-old prankster T.J. Kayatan, who was unimpressed with some of the art on display, and he set out to test the theory that people will stare at and artistically interpret anything in a gallery setting. And it seems he was right. And it wasn't just his glasses. There was a baseball cap.
That's right, yeah.
There we go. And a bin.
That bloke saying, it's rubbish.
Hey!
Thank you very much.
One commentator on Facebook said, what's really awesome about this is that by placing his glasses there and inspiring people to look at them in a new light, and by what he was trying to convey by doing so, this guy did in fact create a work of modern art. Sweet. Twat. This is the student who turned his own spectacles into an artwork by putting them on the floor of a gallery. Actually, the joke was on him as he completely ruined the £10 million world-renowned work of art called Floor. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
Is it different between London and Manchester, London, the south and the north, different accents or different words are used?
Salford, that, just... I know it's picky, but they will start writing in.
Well, this is the news that, according to a recent study, the London accent is taking over the UK, killing off regional twangs.
Really?
I've thought that a few times, to be honest.
Yeah, but there's some that say it goes the other way. You don't hear that, to put that on your telly, if you will.
According to Dr. David Britton, who worked on the study...
he knows nothing.
mainly due to increased social mobility, although another culprit is television.
Telly, yeah.
Soap operas. That was the main thing, soap operas. When Coronation Street started in 1960, a lot of people hadn't heard that accent outside of, Manchester and the north.
And everyone on telly sounded like this.
They did. This is the BBC. The King has resigned. What are we going to do?
Yes, I remember it.
It's true. It's funny because I come to London a lot, and I live in Manchester, and my family are very, they stay in Manchester, and so even now, like occasionally, my brother will pick me up on the odd word that I've said differently. Even I remember just saying, "Oh, pass me that remote control, please." He went, "Please." Coming up here talking like Queen.
Anyone know what a spelk is?
Is it like a splinter?
It is, yes, and you only find that in the northeast of England.
Stop mourning, soft lad.
Soft lad, get that
I've got a
spelt.
spelt, Dad. Spelt in my finger, stop bloody mourning. I've had one in my eye for 12 years. Because there's words that you use in Manchester that I always find that fascinating. Like, we use the words like mithered. As
you're mithered. I'd say you're mithering, yeah.
I love that. And what I really like is like some of the swear words. So we use knobhead quite a lot in Manchester, and they never use that word in London, which is weird because there's loads of them here.
Who might be our knight in shining armour when it comes to preserving northern accents?
It's not going to be anyone from the Tory party, is it?
You're not going to know this. This is a gentleman called Korean Billy. He's become an internet sensation. His videos teaching you how to speak with a Liverpudlian accent. Let's have a look at one of his lessons.
In Scouse, K sound sounds like clearing throat. For example, chicken, 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 dog, 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 dog. I'd like some chicken. I'd like some chicken.
This is the survey that tells us regional accents are dying out. One of the things that the study looked at was how people pronounce butter. It's quite simple. In the south, we say butter. In the north, they say margarine.
I'm going Brexit.
According to a linguistics researcher at Cambridge, Adrian Lehman, more and more people are using and pronouncing words in the way that Londoners do. Leave it out, Lehman, you slag.
You sounded just like Ian when you said that.
So that means at the end of this round, Paul and Jess have 3, and Ian and Jason leaving ahead with 4. So it's time now for the odd one out round. Paul and Jess, your 4 are Marina Stepanova, MC Hammer, Sarah Blizzard, and Dr. Henry Heimlich.
Ah, right.
Right.
OK. Out of all those, Dr. Henry Heimlich, who invented the Heimlich manoeuvre, this was an interesting story. Last week, I think he's in a sort of care home now, sort of thing, he's at the age of 96, and a fellow resident started choking, and he was on hand to do the Heimlich manoeuvre, and it's the first time ever he's ever actually been called upon to do it, and save this woman's life. There, he's obviously attacking that woman, so he's got a dark side to him. So who are the other people that you mentioned?
Marina Stepanova.
Yeah.
She does the hurdles.
Yeah, that's
Stepanova.
Stepanova, yeah.
400-metre hurdles, though.
Yeah.
Really, really high.
So bottom left, Sarah Blizzard, did you
Sarah
say?
Blizzard.
We don't know what this Blizzard person...
She's a weather woman.
Sarah Blizzard is a weather presenter for East Midlands Today, taking over from the much-loved Karen pissing it down.
I read this story about MC Hammer. He doesn't like hammers.
What, he's got an
piece of paper.
aversion to hammers?
Yeah.
That's a weird thing to have.
Yes, they all have highly appropriate names, apart from MC Hammer, who recently revealed that he's scared of hammering.
Ah.
In a recent interview, he said, using hammers is always a scary proposition, man. You can hit your fingers. Henry Heimlich, according to the Daily Mail, the 96-year-old leapt into action and was at his patient's side in less than an hour. How did Dr. Heimlich play a pivotal role in the engagement of Carrie Fisher and Dan Aykroyd?
They were both patients of his. They both thought one day they might choke, so they were having anti-choke lessons.
Did Carrie Fisher do the Heimlich manoeuvre to Dan Aykroyd, or vice versa? When
Which
one of
would
them
you
was
like to
choking?
say?
Who are you going to call?
I'm going to say Carrie was doing it to Dan.
Yeah. Carrie's doing it to Dan.
No.
No. Dan's doing it to Carrie.
Dan saved Carrie's life by performing the Heimlich manoeuvre after she choked on a Brussels sprout. Why, that's funny.
Bloody Brussels.
After saving her life, Aykroyd proposed, and Carrie accepted. She said, I thought, wow, what if that happens again? I should probably marry him. According to The Sun, while working on Britain's Got Talent, David Walliams once did the Heimlich manoeuvre on Simon Cowell. At least, that's what they told the runner when she walked in on them. There are loads of great names. Buzz, if you can tell me the occupation of the following people. These are all genuine. Les McBurney.
Fireman.
Yes, from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Bath Toothman.
Plumber. Dentist.
Very good, dentist. Mark DeMann.
Rapper.
Professional footballer.
Professional killer.
He's a footballer. Ian, of course, you get that. Yeah, he's
the
a
full name.
he's Belgian.
Mark Demand, a defender, I would guess.
Yes.
Wait a minute. There's something strange going on here.
Yes.
Ian Hislop's voice isn't quite the same as it normally is. And the Ian Hislop I know knows
Yes.
nothing about football.
Right, it's Ross Kemp in an Ian Hislop suit.
Leave it out.
So they all have highly appropriate names, apart from MC Hammer, who recently revealed he's scared of hammers and hammering. Before he hit it big, MC Hammer formed a Christian rap group called the Holy Ghost Boys, before two members left to form a father and son group.
How long's that joke been lying around?
As a record-breaking hurdler, Marina Stepanova is very appropriately named, though things are looking bad for the Russian medical advisor behind the doping of their 2012 athletes, Dr. Strukov. The instance of a name being linked to what you do is known as nominative determinism, a phrase first suggested by linguistics expert Norman Attiv and his German colleague Determinism.
This has got an end of series feel about it, doesn't it? You wouldn't have dared put out on the first show.
All the jokes that got left lying around.
Exactly. Scrape them up.
I'll do them.
Yeah.
There's a Belgian footballer called Mark Demand.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, the French women's football team have that awful player, Mr. Gaulle. Ian and Jason, here are yours. A Snickers bar, Titty from Swallows and Amazons, the Port Isaac shuttle service, and Boggy Bottom.
Oh, I know this.
Oh, good.
The character in Swallows and Amazon used to be called Titty, and they've changed the name to Tatty, because they think a modern audience...
Would laugh at that.
Would laugh at
Yeah.
a girl called Titty.
Why?
God knows.
It's quite funny.
People are so immature.
Yeah. The Port Isaac Shuttle Service. When it becomes an acronym, people find it offensive. It just says piss on the side of the...
So they've all been changed except Boggy
is
Bottom,
Bottom.
which hasn't.
Right.
Very good, absolutely right. Loads of points. Boggy Bottom in Hertfordshire came third in a recent survey of rude place names. Can you name any others?
I live near a place called Licky End.
Really? There's the winner in the rude place name survey was Bell End.
Classic.
That came first. Brown Willie came second. You could have had Crotch Crescent in Oxford.
But if you could have had it, but
Could have.
if you use the ointment, it goes away after a week.
The same ointment works for Fanny Hands Lane in Lincolnshire.
Wow.
Or Fudge Pack upon Humber in Humberside. And yes, Titty's been redubbed Tatty in order to sound less rude, which angered the niece of the real-life Titty, who said, "I would absolutely wring someone's neck if I could only find out whose neck I could wring." And the actress Sophie Neville, who played Titty in the 1974 film adaptation, what does she have to say about that?
Not bothered?
She said,
right, thanks.
"People still call me Titty to my face." According to the Sunday Times, the BBC have ruined a classic by replacing tit with tat. Or that could just be a review of Top Gear. So before it became Snickers again, the popular Mars bar chocolate bar Snickers was changed to Marathon bar when it was launched in the UK. Why?
Did they think that Snickers sounded like knickers?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. It is. Idiots. So they've all changed their names to avoid sounding rude, apart from Boggy Bottom, which is keeping its name, despite being deemed one of the rudest place names in the country. According to the British Food Commission, one of the unhealthiest dishes ever was Anthony Worrell Thompson's pie, which contained 5 Snickers bars, which is apparently the only way you could get them out of the supermarket without paying. A taxi service in Port Isaac has had to change its name after the acronym spelled out PISS. And now that this precedent has been set, it's worrying times for the Cornish Union of Night Transport. That took you a while.
They're my favourite sort of jokes because I know what a writer's room looks like and they will have all been just the first one trying to get it right. Cornish Union. Oh my God, I've got it! I've got it!
For many years, Snickers has been one of the Mars Corporation's 3 mega brands. According to a case study in marketing communication, Mars do not seek growth through innovation, but rather through global expansion, a sort of chocolatey ISIS. Which means that at the end of this round, it's still 3 points to Paul and Jess, and Ian and Jason leaping ahead with a mighty 7.
Ooh.
Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Rubber Chicken, the kids' entertainers magazine. And we start with, what is possibly the most Waitrose thing ever?
The fig and horseradish kale crisps are in the essentials aisle.
It's actually tasting notes on special brew.
Brilliant.
Waitrose say they're promoting the beer to appeal to a growing demographic amongst their shoppers, the second homeless. Next, Westminster Abbey to be turned into what? And some priests aren't happy about it.
KFC.
Westminster Abbey be turned into the police. And some priests aren't happy about it.
There's a Gucci catwalk.
Really?
Oh.
When they heard about the protests from members of the church, several of the models walked out before stopping, posing, turning around and walking back in again. Next, Nigel's golden rule. Don't what after what?
Don't drive after drinking. Not that, is it?
Don't drink after driving. He's had a few by then.
Don't drink after drinking.
Drinking.
It says, don't do TV after more than 5 pints. Talking about drinking and politics, Nigel Farage said, Enoch Powell told me he always had a glass of wine to loosen up, which would explain the late changes he made to his Rivers of Joy speech. Kids don't want a poodle riding a unicycle, they want what?
To play inside a gorilla enclosure.
The
kid's alive!
Yeah.
He's all right.
They want the exact opposite. They want a unicycle riding a poodle. Cushiony birds. Bouncy fowl.
Not a million miles away, actually.
I know I'm not. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear me.
Shall I tell you?
You might as well, we're here.
It's, they want a simple balloon animal. Parents have complained that the price of balloon modelers has gone up in recent years, probably due to inflation.
Somewhere I can't help feeling the Christmas crackers are going to be empty this year.
Next, sight of what in Wokingham causes quite a stir?
Spoon.
Isn't that I think that is right. There was something about a spoon in...
Real giant spoon, sight of giant spoon, is it really?
I think it is genuinely
Okay.
about a spoon.
I was trying to make a very poor joke, but obviously I should be working for whichever paper wrote this. Shakespeare's spoon. Would this be the spoon that he wrote The Tempest with?
Not a spoon.
Oh, it's not
Isn't
a spoon.
it?
No.
Oh,
Don't listen to her, she's an MP.
Not a spoon.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
There's a large fajita lying in the road.
It caused quite a stir.
The Mexican snack was apparently so large that, according to one witness, a bus mounted the pavement to avoid it. The identity of the bus driver is not yet known, but the company he worked for was Arriva Arriva. Nice. UK's annual clown gathering gets off to a shaky start when what?
When Bobo punches Boris Johnson.
Is it when the Coulrophobic Society booked the same hotel on the same night?
What phobic?
I'm not even explaining that, because that is a clever joke.
Yeah.
Coulnophobic.
Fear of clowns.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah, please do.
Just one turns up. Yeah, he must have been lonely all his adult life. Next, Stephen Hawking says what is beyond his understanding?
Grinder. I don't know what he gets up to. Maybe it's not.
Is it physics?
Trump is beyond his understanding.
Well done, yeah, Trump's popularity, very good. Hawking called Trump a demagogue who appeals to the lowest common denominator. Trump is expected to reply to the comments as soon as he's looked up the words in a dictionary. After hearing Hawking's comments about his intelligence, Donald Trump responded by saying, "Come over here and type that." And finally, veteran kids entertainer Dick Osland's motto is what?
No refunds. Cash in hand before I put the hat on.
It's keep it simple, make it fun.
Oh, yeah.
So the final scores are Paul and Jess with 4, but Ian and Jason romp away with the night with 7. And I leave you with news that at London Zoo, the vet begins a round of prostate examinations. What is that animal?
Bush baby, maybe?
It's an aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Oh,
aye.
is it?
That's a noise it makes when you stick a finger out.
Aye, aye. At Claridge's in London, the chefs react quickly as Gordon Ramsay falls into the deep fat fryer. There's an air of distrust as UN diplomats meet for talks with President Assad about his chemical stockpile. With his visitors from Botswana about to arrive, one pensioner discovers that his wife has torn the relevant pages out of his joke book. And in Dover, there's a triumph for the Remain campaign as they lure Boris Johnson onto a zip wire that goes all the way to Calais. Good night.
Stay with us on BBC One. Salma Hayek, Kelsey Grammer, Tamsin Gregg and Rod Gilbert join Graham Norton next. Or if you're watching in the North, it's the Super League Show.